What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you Week 10 of Season 5 of CPC Majors, and this week we are up against the reigning champ Techno himself with his Carolina Pantherians. Now, I would like to point out that I'm not doing a team builder because, so first of all, Tech and I both are guaranteed playoffs at this point, so there's really, pretty much this match is just completely inconsequential. There is nothing, like there's really just there's no consequence to it. Like, it doesn't affect whether or not we made playoffs, so we just built, like, our teams in about 10 minutes and decided to play. I was messaging him, trying to figure out a time. I was like, hey, you want to play now? And he was like, yeah, sure, just give me, like, 10 minutes to make the team. And I was like, oh, okay. So we made the teams, and here we are. Now, I'm not doing a team builder because there are some sets and spreads that I might want to use if I face him later in playoffs. So while this team is obviously not, like, a completely thought out, tested team, there are still some spreads or speed creeps, maybe just some certain benchmarks with defensive stats or attack stats that I might want to hit later if I face him, so I'm going to keep that kind of on the deal. I mean, obviously he gets a good look at my team, but otherwise just the exact spreads he will have to find out. So his team completely was Landorus I, Latias, Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn, Z Xurkitree, Chandelure, Skuntank, Gigalith, and Mega Glalie. And, I mean, it's basically just a very, very threatening team that I was like, you know what, this seems like a pretty fun matchup, so I just decided to try some stuff out, saw that things like Scarf Landorus would be good, so just built the team and went with it. And now in the battle he has Mega Glalie, Gigalith, Tapu Fini, Latias, Chandelure, and Ferrothorn. He did not bring either Landorus I or Xurkitree. That's telling me that he is pretty much saving those for later or the next time that we play. So really, again, this match doesn't mean anything, but still, I mean, it's a good match against a good opponent. We both prepared in about the same amount of time. So yeah, we're just going to jump right into that. I am going to lead with my Kangaskhan, as I kind of figured he might try to lead Ferrothorn, predicting like the Scarf Landorus or something, Scarf something, basically, or just Landorus to try to get up rocks early, and then Ferrothorn has a good matchup. He can get his hazards up against me. And so I am going to lead my Kangaskhan, predicting that. And he is going to scout for my Fire Blast turn 1, as I am going to Mega Evolve and simply just go for the sub. I thought either he would go for Leech Seed or potentially for Stealth Rock or Spike or something. Either way, I get a free sub up. And then if he wants to Gyro Ball, then I can scout out that he wants to go for Gyro Ball. So basically, sub was just a no drawback play. He didn't know that I had it, and then he does go into his Tapu Fini, so I am just able to get a free Earthquake off on that thing. Does look to be a 3-hit KO, just barely. And we actually don't see leftover, so I'm assuming that was Rocky Helmet. So I am going to go for that once again, as he does go for Nature's Madness. I'm like, you know what, I can take another Nature's Madness. Worst case scenario, he brings me low enough that I just sub up again, and Nature's Madness can't break my sub, as he switches into his Ferrothorn, and at this point I am going to be able to knock out that Ferrothorn with the Fire Blast. Very glad I did not reveal that early on, but again, this really doesn't mean a whole lot at this point. And so Kangaskhan gets a kill, and he brings in Gigalith. Expecting him to get up rocks, I do just go for the Earthquake, which is a solid 2-hit KO, but he does just demolish me with Continental Crush. So now it is 5-5, but at this point I am able to go into my Landorus right here and go for rocks, as he unfortunately misses Stone Edge. That does suck, as he would have been able to gauge what type of Landorus that is, but I am not going to let my Landorus just take a free hit, as I'm going into my Cress to sponge the Stone Edge and potentially get damage off, as he goes into his Latias. Will go for the sub, so this is sub CM Latias, and I'm like, okay, well, Ice Beam, just breaking the sub. I wanted to gauge damage, also scout out potentially if he was sub, which he did turn out to be. And I know this turn, Tech is good enough. He's going to go for the Calm Mind. He's going to be like, okay, he has Ice Beam. I'm going to Calm Mind up so that he cannot break my sub, and I'm like, crap. So I am just going to go for the Ice Beam, thinking, you know what, might as well not overpredict. Maybe I can do 25%, but of course I don't, because Cress is weak and Latias is strong. So right here, predicting the sub, I am going to go into my Lando to be able to U-turn out. And yes, this was Scarf Rocks Lando. So I do break the sub, and I'm going into my Houndoom right here, as I will live a +1 Dragon Pulse. And had I brought Whimsicott, it looks like he was sub CM Dragon Pulse. Not sure what his last move was. Probably, in all reality, it was probably like HP Poison or something like that to be able to demolish Whimsicott. But turns out he fears the Sucker Punch or the Scarf from Houndoom. So I end up getting my Houndoom in. Really, I was just sacking it off so I could go back into Landorus and U-turn out and kill the Latias. but fortunately he was fearing the Scarf or the Sucker Punch and does switch out into Finny as I'm able to hit that thing with a Dark Pulse for no damage. I'm going to go for a sub. Yeah, I'm carrying sub on 2 mods this week. Just, I mean, I felt like memeing a little bit and was like, you know what, I'm just going to throw sub on a lot of stuff. So I do go for the sub as he does break my sub with the Surf, and now I'm going to go for my Z Bloom Doom. Sorry, I completely forgot what the grass move was, and able to knock out the Finny. I could have brought Sludge Bomb, but I decided just to run Z Bloom Doom. Really, I switched this up like last second, like right before the battle. I was like, no, not Sludge Bomb, Solar Beam. So, I mean, I really just kind of switched it back and forth in the 10 minutes and ended up paying off. Houndoom was able to get a kill, but now he is able to go into his Glalie, Mega Evolve, and knock out my Houndoom. So a bit unfortunate right there, but what that does allow me to do is go into my Scizor, and really I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for the setup, see if I can potentially win as I go for the agility, and unfortunately he does carry the HP Fire. That was honestly, that was just dumb play on my part. Like, straight up, that was just a really stupid play to go for that. I mean, of course, Glalie is going to have HP Fire. Like, my team's only real answer to Glalie is Scizor. I mean, Tentacruel gets hit by Earthquake, everything else just gets crushed by Return. Of course he's going to have HP Fire because, I mean, that just rounds out his set. Like, he doesn't even have to choose between moves in order to hit me hard. So just dumb play. Luckily, I do survive, but unfortunately, because I do have the Life Orb, I don't want Scizor to go down just yet, as I can potentially set up on like Latias or Gigalith later. So I decide to switch out into my Crest just to take the whatever hit is. He does go for Ice Shard, and unfortunately, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of how it goes. It was a dumb move on my part. Now my Scizor is very low. I'm going to go for the Psychic, crit the Glalie, but really it doesn't matter too much as I am just going to take this opportunity, go for the Lunar Dance, bring the Scizor back up, and now instead of setting up on the Mega Glalie, I am just going to go for the Bullet Punch and knock it out. So honestly, had I not been Life Orb, I would have been able to just clean sweep, because even at 1%, would have been able to outspeed the Glalie, knock that out with Bullet Punch, and then I would have cleaned up Latias, Gigalith, and Chandelure at +2. So, I mean, yeah, that ended up not working out, unfortunately, but at this point I will be able to just go ahead and sack my Crobat to the Chandelure as I'm assuming he's Scarfed, but I mean, he doesn't have to be, as he does burn me with a Flamethrower, but luckily this is a special Crobat, and I go for the Air Slash. Don't quite pick up the KO on Gigalith, but I am able to pick up the 2-hit KO, so Special Crobat does do something, and he goes into his Latias, and here I was like, oh my gosh, Crobat might be able to get a couple kills. Like, it might be able to kill the Gigalith and the Latias, but unfortunately, Crobat is insanely weak, especially. So, I mean, while I do get the poison, Sludge Bomb just did not do enough, so Crobat unfortunately only gets 1 kill, but at this point, my Scarf Landorus, no matter what he has, will be able to win the game, as I know Latias is not Scarfed, and I will be able to knock out the Chandelure with Knockoff as well. So Landorus is able to clean up the game right there, and we kind of did a series of GGs. It was like GG my dude, GG my, what was it? Either way, we did a series of GGs in the comments of the game that was ruined by Mayo, so I just want to shout him out for ruining a bro moment between Tech and I. And yeah, I mean, once again, this game, I mean, this ended up being a pretty solid game, but neither of us really prepared all that intensely. I mean, we weren't revealing our best sets, as, I mean, this game was inconsequential, and Tech did not bring his Zmon, or, well, his main Zmon, or his round 1 pick, so I know he's got stuff in the back. But regardless, a win's a win. We finish out the season 8-2, and considering this is my first ever season in Majors, I consider the fact that I went 8-2 to be pretty good. I mean, I consider that to be relatively decent, and yeah, so we're in playoffs, and we'll find out who the matchup is, although it actually might end up being a rematch against Abe, so that'll be interesting. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.